Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome into the OnlyBets Sports Podcast alongside your co-host SternBets. I am Prince of Picks. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. We got a great show lined up for you today. We've got a variety of sports here that we're going to be covering. We'll be recapping the NFL from yesterday. We'll be covering some NBA, some soccer, and some other sports as well around the sports landscape for today. So I'm excited to get into it. Thanks again for stopping in. Thanks for tuning in. We always appreciate all of your support. Before we get into the picks here, let's take care of some official business, please. If you guys get a chance, only takes about 60 seconds. Rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast here over on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. We'd really appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm here in terms of getting our podcast out to multiple viewers. And it also helps with the growth of the channel and the community as well. So again, rate, review, subscribe. It only takes about less than 60 seconds. We'll continue to give you guys 30 plus minutes of our day, as long as you guys can give us 60 seconds of yours. If you think that's a fair trade, please help us out and give us a rate, review, and subscribe. Would really appreciate that. We got a great show again lined up for you guys today. We got some guest speakers. We're going to be coming in. We got Drew DeLucci, our college basketball expert, who will be covering the landscape of NCAA basketball today. And we also got a guest speaker, Brad Betts Footy. Brad Betts will be coming in a little bit here, giving us some additional soccer angles, anything that we might have missed on our Champions League podcast that we did release yesterday, by the way. So if any of you guys are interested in hearing about the Champions League, we do have that podcast available. Again, it is on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. You guys can find it there under the OnlyBets Sports Betting Podcast channel there. So go ahead and give that a listen when you get a chance. But in the meantime, here we'll go ahead and get into the picks today. Let me pass it over to my co-host, Mr. SternBets, Mr. Moose. What up, man?
Hey man, what a couple of games yesterday. I had some friends over during the snowstorm. We had pancakes and eggs, and we were just watching the first game. I mean, just such a low scoring defensive masterclass. Honestly, I was really surprised with Sidham. Unfortunate that he couldn't get any offense past that first quarter. And then the second game with the Seahawks and Rams. I mean, my golly, have you ever seen anything like that? That was
Ah,
unbelievable.
that was unbelievable. Unbelievable games yesterday. I mean, I think these playoffs have had some of the best playoff games that we've seen in a long time. You really only had one blowout, which was the Seattle San Fran game. Apart from that, every game has been relatively close. And so it's just been a really entertaining playoffs. Great way to cap off the divisional conference side of things yesterday. And I think we were both on the right side when we were talking about Denver and New England being a low scoring game. That's exactly what it was. It was smash mouth football. Both sides didn't want to give anything to the other team. But I think what really impacted that game more than anything, and I think most people would agree with this, was that blizzard that hit in the second half. I mean, that you saw both teams completely adjust the way that they wanted to attack the game. You saw it was ground and pound to the fullest. You really couldn't complete a pass. It was really hard to see through that snow. And I think the commentators made a great point during the game. I actually believe it was Tony Romo, which say what you want about Tony Romo, but he actually made one good point. The New England Patriots being in white jerseys with that white snow, you could definitely see how that could have some sort of an advantage for the Patriots and how they can kind of blend in. And when you're an opposing quarterback like Jared Stidham, it might be hard to miss them at times. They might just blend in with the snow, and you might everything's moving fast, and it's an angle that I thought was interesting. I don't know if it really had a direct impact on the game, but I'm sure it had some sort of impact somewhere along the lines. But in any case, congrats to the Patriots. I mean, just when you thought that their fan base was going to suffer, it's been a long, what was it, 2 years, 3 years? Those poor Patriot fans, they had to
Well,
endure.
hold up. I've got to interrupt you there. You cannot use the phrase "poor Patriots fans." That is a phrase. I'm a Giants fan. That is offensive to me. They had 2 decades worth.
Exactly. Sorry, maybe my sarcasm isn't going through here on the this podcast. But no, I mean, of any team, obviously the Patriots fans are the most. How do I want to say this? Because we got some Patriots fans listening, I'm sure. So we love you all, but you've been very blessed. We'll put it that way over the past couple decades. So I'm sure it was a long 3 years for you, but hey, you're back. And you're back, without Joe Burrow, without Lamar Jackson, without Patrick Mahomes. Some of the big names were missing from this year's playoffs, but doesn't matter. You play who you play, and you get there how you get there. So shout out to the Patriots. Shout out to the on the other side. We had the Rams and the Seahawks. What a game! What a game! Back and forth. Just when you thought the Rams experience was going to come through, Seattle ended up making plays at the end there. Sam Darnold shined when you might have thought was a time that he would be exposed. He wasn't, and so congrats to the Seahawks, and that is going to be one hell of a Super Bowl. I think it's going to be another defensive game. I think you're going to see a lot more of the same from what you saw from the Patriots and Broncos. I think the Seahawks and Patriots is going to be a very similar kind of smash mouth type of football game where neither team is going to really want to expose their offense too much to the other defense. You got two of the top defenses in the league going up against each other. So I think I think ratings wise it might struggle because you don't have any superstars. I mean, you're talking about Drake May versus Sam Darnold, right? And you're talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, these are guys that NFL fans know, but the common fan probably is not going to be gravitating towards. Oh my God, I have to watch Ramondre Stevenson run the ball, right? So it's lacking star power. But from a football standpoint, I think it's an awesome matchup. I think it's going to throw football back here probably 10, 15 years. It's going to be just a heavily smash mouth type of game, but really interested to see how this all plays out. What do you think about everything, Stern?
Yeah. I honestly, looking ahead at the lines, I think -4.5 on the Seattle side is probably very accurate, and I do think that we probably see lower total game. I think people are going to be undervaluing New England, partially because of that snow blizzard that really shut down offensive output in the end of the end of the first game there. So it's going to be very interesting to see. One thing that I did point out in my analysis was I thought that we were going to see a drop in the amount of turnovers and mistakes by the quarterbacks, and I think we saw that by both QBs. Both QBs handled the ball appropriately, safely, but they didn't not take their shots down the field. So I really liked what I saw there. I personally went 4-1 yesterday. I was 2-1 in my article plays, and then I posted 2 plus 250 plays on my Twitter yesterday. I had New England to win by 1 to 6 points and Seattle to win by 1 to 6 points. And I also parlayed them for a nice little payout there too. So I had a great day. I'm looking forward to what's coming up in the future. What do you got today? Lead us off.
Yeah, so for today, it's a little bit of a lighter landscape here in terms of the on the pitch here. We only got a handful of games in the NBA. We got about 6 games tonight. So I got a little bit for each. We got a couple basketball plays, and then we have a soccer play here for later this afternoon. So let me go ahead and go in chronological order here. I'll start with the soccer play first, and then we'll get into the NBA after that. So one soccer play for you guys today for the show. We got a 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff today in the England Championship division here, where we have Norwich, who is going to be hosting Coventry City. When we're looking at the table here, Coventry are currently top of the table. First place, they're currently sitting at 58 points. Meanwhile, Norwich, they have had a struggling season, to say the least. They are all the way down in 20th position, sitting on just 30 points. However, when you look into the details here for these two sides, Norwich come into this one undefeated in 5 of their last 7 home matches. So this is a side that has been trending, getting points at home. They started out really rough. They're trying to pick up the pace here towards the end of the season. We'll see if they can, but they're in excellent form in terms of their home form. Meanwhile, Coventry on the other side, winless in 6 straight away matches, is Coventry. So although they're sitting top of the table, they're a little bit of a slump right now, specifically on the road. But what I found most fascinating, besides that, is here in the head-to-head matchup, Coventry is winless in 15 straight matches head-to-head against Norwich City. So 15 in a row, Norwich has either won or drawn. They have not lost to Coventry City. So despite the fact that Norwich is sitting in 20th position, 19 spots below Coventry, I'm riding the trends here. Norwich is trending well at home. Coventry is not trending well on the road, and Norwich has a dominant record head-to-head against Coventry. So, getting a great value here on Norwich draw no bet at plus 130. We get push insurance if the game ends in a draw. But getting plus money here for a team that's in excellent form at home and has been dominant against this team in the head-to-head, I just couldn't pass that up. So for me, it's going to be Norwich a draw no bet at plus 130.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, great. I'm looking forward to that. It's starting off, and I think in what, 17 minutes, 15 minutes?
No, no, it's three. No, it's 3 p.m. Eastern. So
Oh, sorry,
yeah, so later
sorry.
this afternoon. Yep, yep.
Oh, it was 3 hours and 15
Yeah,
minutes.
there you
My
go.
bad.
Yep, yeah, almost. So, do you want me to get into my NBA? Do you have any thoughts on
Yeah,
anything
yeah, yeah.
or?
Let's get into the
Okay.
NBA. Let me just knock it off by saying that there were two preemptive reschedulings in the NBA tonight based on the snow. The Indiana Pacers and the Atlanta Hawks, I think they're starting off at 1 or 1:30 p.m. today. And the 76ers and the Hornets are going to be playing at 3 p.m. today. But yeah, we're going to have some really good NBA plays here. I think we're going to see an emphasis now that we have some primetime showings during the snowstorm. So yeah, lead us off. What do you got for us?
Yeah, for sure. So, full disclosure here, this is a tricky time for the NBA, right? We've alluded to this before. These are kind of the dog days of the NBA season. And if you've noticed some of these results, we're getting some funky results here, some unusual results around the league. We just had the Pelicans beat the Spurs. We had the Raptors at on the road beat the OKC Thunder. The Thunder seem to be in a little bit of a slump right now. It happens. I wouldn't say it's anything to worry about. It's a long season. I think all that talk about the Thunder potentially beating the 73-9 best record in the league in the history of the league, I think that was all just crazy talk. I mean, it's going to be so hard for any team to do that in today's NBA with just so much parity around the league and so much talent that's dispersed around the NBA. So, but in any case here, so you got some teams that are underperforming, some teams that are just kind of going through the motions. Anytime it's like after the holidays and before the All-Star break, it's you kind of your dead zone, if you will, your dog days. It's when you see players kind of do some more DNPs. You'll see some some teams just kind of not step up the way that you would expect them to. So definitely tread lightly during this time of the year when you're betting the NBA. You don't want to bet anything crazy. But having said that, here, let's go ahead and get into my two plays for tonight. First up, we got an 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off where the LA Lakers are going to be heading over to Chicago here, taking on the Bulls. I like a lot of points in this one. Both teams coming to this one averaging 116 plus points per game, and they are both allowing 116 plus points per game here. So that gives us an average of about 232. We're only looking for a few more points above their average. You have the Bulls here coming to this one at top 10 in pace of play. So I do think at home they're going to be able to push the tempo here. But neither team is very good defensively. So I think we have all the potential here to see a lot of points. So I'm going to be on the over here, over 235.5 total points. That one's going to be at minus 110. Most, you have anything for this one before I get to the next one?
No, I lean Bulls. I have a theory that I was reading about that I kind of liked, which was during snowstorms and kind of chaotic days, favor the home team who have a little bit more stability and haven't needed to like figure out the travel situation. And especially when you have the time changes, which I'll get into my picks for the NBA, which we'll get into that. I like the stability of being at home, so I would kind of lean with the Bulls, but I do like a higher scoring game overall.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great look too. Definitely the weather has an impact more for the road team. So, yep, sharp play there. Next up, we're going to a 9:30 p.m. Eastern tip. Where we have the Golden State Warriors, who are going to be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is a back-to-back, a home and home. They just played each other last night, which was actually rescheduled. Originally, it was supposed to be Saturday night, but from everything that happened, it ended up being rescheduled for last night. So this is a back-to-back, same two teams, same location. Last night, the total hit just 196. And we got two of the top 10 defenses here in the league coming into this one. So I don't expect much different here. Both teams, specifically the Wolves, have been kind of struggling offensively here. So I think we see another under in this one. Give me the under 232.5. That one's at minus 110 for the game total. Any thoughts for you on that one?
No, no, not at all. I think Timberwolves will be able to play defense against the depleted Warriors, so I think that's a really good look.
Awesome. Okay, so that's all I have for today. I do have one play for tomorrow because I know we're not going to be on tomorrow for the podcast. So, did you want me to get into that, or do you want? We can do that later if you want.
Let me get into my best bet of the NBA slate today. I actually had two looks. I can you hear me by the way because it keeps saying reconnecting on the
Uh,
screen here.
yeah, I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
All right, just let me know if I ever go out. So yeah, so like I kind of mentioned before, alluded to before, uh, games that are earlier changed last minute. Road teams usually in stormy situations like this usually kind of struggle a little bit. So I was going to fade the Pacers. That's a
Mosh, you still there? I think you muted yourself. I don't know if you're out or you muted yourself. You want to take yourself off mute, Mosh? All right. Hey, guys, I'm not sure what happened to Mosh. I don't know if you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, give a thumbs up real quick so I can see here on Spaces. Say something in the chat. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm not sure what happened to Mosh. Looks like he might be having some connectivity issues. Can one of you guys let me know, please, if you can hear me? If anyone can hear me, please.
sorry, I'm back.
Okay. All right, Mosh.
I don't know where I was in that take, but I'm going to take the Hornets minus 1.5 over on MGM at minus 125 juice. The 76ers have traveled Philadelphia. I'm currently in it. Is crazy with snow. The travel was not fun. Getting a team moving to an earlier time slot as well can really not can affect you negatively. So give me the Hornets. They have a great young team. I like the way that they're shooting. I think they have a solid advantage here, and if they're going to win, they're most likely going to win by more than just 2 points. So give me the Hornets minus 1.5 at minus 125 juice over at MGM. Give us your play for the hardwood tomorrow.
Yeah, so actually it's not going to be for the hardwood, but it's actually going to be on the pitch here. We got a light slate tomorrow, so not a whole lot going on, but I did find one play that I do like for tomorrow. Now it's in a little bit more of an exclusive league, so full disclosure, we're not sponsored by any sports books here, but I will go ahead and tell you, you can find this league on Bet365. You'll have to search your other books to find this league to see if it's available, but we're going to the England National League North. This is somewhat of a semi-pro league here, where we have a top two matchup between South Shields, currently sitting on 63 points, first place in the England National League North. They're going to be taking on AFC Filed, who are second place, 6 points behind them at 57 points. But what stood out to me here is goals. These teams score goals and concede goals very frequently here. Both teams come into this one top three in the league in scoring goals. Both teams are averaging over 2.5 goals in their matches this season. But the thing about this league is only the first seed, only top of the table, gets automatic promotion to the next to the division above them, which in this case would be the England National League proper. So we got an England National League North matchup here between these top two sides. AFC Filed here. They're going to look at this one as a game that they're going to really need to win because you only play each other twice in the table here. So this is their chance to really make up some ground here and have potential to go for the. Are we still here? I'm hearing music in my ear, guys. Sorry. Can you give me a? I'm not sure what's happening with Stern. Are we here?
Sorry, that's me.
Okay.
I am getting kicked out and reconnecting all the time, and I am not quite sure what's happening. I am so sorry, everybody. Go for it. Go ahead.
All right. So anyway, here, lost my place here. Sorry about that. So South Shield 63 points, AFC Filed 57 points. This is a match AFC Filed is going to want to win here. So I think with the consideration here, with these teams conceding goals, scoring goals, their previous matchup here did hit 6 goals earlier in the season. It was a 4-2 final. So I expect a lot of the same here in this one. So for this one, we're going to take over 3 goals. That's going to be on an Asian total, and you're going to get that at plus 100. Again, for those of you who are unfamiliar with how Asian totals work, basically, if there is anything more than 3 goals total in the game, you win the bet. If there's just 3 goals, you'll push, which means you get your money back. The only you lose is if there's less than 3 goals. So I think we see another shootout here with two teams that score and concede regularly, and with the AFC filed really needing to get a win here to cut down the deficit between first and second place. So that's gonna do it for me for my plays. Stern, are you good to go?
Yeah, I got one more play. We're gonna go to the ice here. Give me Boston money line versus the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers are technically my team that I root for. I do like them a lot, but they are not good right now. They have absolutely collapsed. Give me the Boston Bruins -115 on the money line. I think this is an absolute gift of a line. I am not sure why we're getting this here. The Rangers have had multiple injuries, including their goalie. They're not in a good shape. They got blown out twice in the last few games. I do not think that they're going to be able to compete. And honestly, like if you see this is a close game going late, I would sprinkle a little bit extra on Boston as well. And yeah, that's it for me. We're going to start bringing in our special guests here. Should we go to? You want to go to college basketball, or you want to go more soccer first?
Let's
What do
let's
you want?
let's finish up soccer first, and we'll finish out with Drew on the college hoop. So let's get to Brad first. If Brad, are you ready to go, Brad? Did you want to go ahead and you have anything you want to request to speak?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties here. I did invite him, but yeah, let's go. By the way, for something about yesterday, something that I was very interested in. Did you see the blocked kick by New England?
You know what? I might have stepped away, but I didn't actually. I missed
So I
it.
thought it was just a missed kick, and it actually made it a lot more.
Oh, right. You're talking about towards the end of
Made,
the game, right? Yeah, they
yeah,
showed the close up and it was actually blocked. Yeah. Uh huh.
I didn't even know until the game ended, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, no, I mean kicks in those conditions. But I mean that was some bold decisions to go for kicks in a blizzard.
It was wild. I was like, "How did they
yeah,
miss a 35
yeah,
yard?"
yeah. That win was something else, man. That was some ultimate kicking right there.
Yeah, sorry, Brad. Thank you so much for being on our podcast once again. You are the absolute man. I love following your takes. The information that you give out really helps me also form my opinions on how to look at games. And just want to say thanks for all you've done in the last few years. But kick us off. Let's bring us into some best bets for the day.
Yeah, I got one best bet currently. I'm going to the second division of the Netherlands this afternoon. It's called the Eredivisie, Eerstedivisie. It's on most books, but you'll see it that way. 365 DK, you got it. If you don't see it on like a DraftKings, you probably don't have it. It's a pretty standard league within soccer. But this afternoon, the Netherlands, Eredivisie, you got PSV Young, the Young PSV, which is the second division of the PSV squad, aka the younger team. They can't get promoted, can't get relegated. I've said this 1,000 times probably. If you're new, haven't heard this before, what I love and what a lot of people love for when you're looking for goals, these second division squads, well, they can't get promoted, right? So if you can't get promoted, it doesn't necessarily matter what your end result is. You're just out there to play football. And if you're an attacker, you're trying to score, you're trying to make plays, you're trying to get the coaches to notice you. It's going to be a system type of play. So they're going to look to establish the possession, establish the attack, and understand what it is that takes to be successful within the PSV program. And that doesn't always necessarily equate to trying to get clean sheets. In fact, PSV Young has only had 3 clean sheets in their last 53 matches, which is pretty insane. They're hitting over 2.5 in 33 of 39 in the league. Pretty substantial hit rate. The league in general right now is hitting over 2.5 in 41 of the last 50 matches, which is above 80%. So 4 out of every 5 matches are hitting that. I like the 3.25 with PSV Young taking on Helmond Sport. With those hit rates, it's not even just PSV Young. Helmond Sport are coming in 10 of their last 11 to the over 2.5. So they're trending it as well. They've hit over 2.5 goals in 3 straight matches. And they've also hit over 3.5 in 3 straight matchups between one another. Both teams trend the over 3.5 in upwards of 75+% of their over 2.5 matches. So the 3.25 tells us that it looks like it should get to 3. And if it gets to 3, we should be able to limp over to that 4th. But if it gets stuck on a 3, that 3.25 tells you half push and half loss instead of a full loss like a 3.5 straight up would be. So yeah, second division, 1 p.m. Central Time. We got 2 hours coming up there, and there's a number of other matches I like, but a lot of them are 3.25s, and you run the risk because it hits around 65 to 70%, upwards of those 3.5s. You're kind of flirting per se with that 3.5. So looking for that full 3 live, I try to do that if I was y'all, and I will be within my VIP crew. And I gave that play out on Driving the Line this morning and through my Dub Club. So check out Driving the Line, support our guy, Alan Bell, AB, and let me know if you have any other questions.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the Erste division is one of my favorite places to kind of look for live bets. If you see one of those games going 0-0 towards the 20th minute, 25th minute, definitely throw something on a first half goal or 2, honestly, or the full game total over. Those games just fly over. I love looking at those divisions, honestly.
100% agree.
Any other tips or looks that we should kind of be looking out for, either for today or for the Champions League later this week? I know we had our Champions League breakdown episode yesterday where we both gave out our best bets. And just for the record, I put all of Prince of Picks' picks together just so that I can kind of track how well each of us do every single day. And if every single one of us picks cash, I will win. I think it was $60,000.
Let's do it. Roll to 60K. We got this.
If I win that 60K, we will be hosting on video with full setup.
Yeah, full studio and everything. Yeah.
But Brad Betts, you got any looks for us? Anything to be careful of, or any information that you kind of want to impart some of your wisdom to?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, you got Saudi today. So Saudi's playing. It has a 1-0 game to Damak. Damak pretty much always concedes. I'm pretty surprised that Hazem hasn't scored yet, even though they're not a top scoring team. What Damak does is they really flirt with that over 2.5. You never really know if it's going to hit the over. So there's probably a goal coming soon based on the hit rate of the 70+ mark. However, Damak has only done it in 2 of their last 11. So those who had followed me before, Saudi time is typically in the end of the Saudi matches, there's kind of just a goal. Like almost regardless of competition, they push late. It hasn't been as frequent this season, and Damak is definitely is it Damak, or I can't even remember. It's there. It's actually spelled phonetically different. Than what we see on the book, like not DAMAC, it's like KH, or there's some weird in there. And then Hazem, whatever. It's just a really tricky match. And I tend to stay away from tricky matches, right? I'm looking for definite matches or things that I see where I feel like I have an edge. You got Al Ittihad taking on Al Aqdud. Al Aqdad. Aqdud is a team that I pretty much say absolutely I'm not going to tail at all or find at all. And then you have Ittihad, who's just in between the numbers this season. Benzema's not really like smashing in the same goals, and they're not letting in as many goals as they used to. You got Al Nasser, so Ronaldo and Joao Felix. They each pretty much score in almost every single match. Ronaldo's going to have a terrible number, and if he doesn't score in the first half, he's likely to score in the second half. So just know that most of his goals have come in the second half, especially late in the match. Oh, look, there's a penalty for Al Nasser. Cristiano Ronaldo steps up, goal. Who could have seen that coming? There's no way that was planned. So just be aware of Al Nasser there. But Joao Felix is actually the, I'd say, predominant attacker. He's the one who scores from open play the most. So if you're looking for goal scorers, that's not a bad one. It's going to be right there in between that number. It sits at a 3.5, 3.75 juiced pre-match, and that's because Al Nasser are smashing these totals. Like 20. Let me pull this up real quick so I can give you accurate statistics. We got Al Nasser, who have hit over 2.5 in 25 of their last 29 matches, but when they're at home, 15 of 16. So you're seeing at home their hit rate higher. They're hitting both teams to score actually above 75%, conceding incredibly. Al Nasser have scored in 69 straight matches in the league. It's actually pretty insane. Only second to really Al Hilal in a total hit rate per match. So real consistent, but when they're at home, they score 2+. It's what they do, 16 of 18. And then 2+ in 27 of their 30 matches coming in. So if you're looking for goals, Al Nasser tend to do it because they concede and they score, right? They score 2+, 3+ at home, but they're flirting with that 3 number. I'd look for that over 3 live as well. Al Tawun can kind of shut you out first half, but they're an away goals team. So look, again, over 3 live there. Qatar Stars Cup is playing right now, but the problem with Qatar Stars Cup is they don't give us lineups anywhere, so we don't know who's playing. So you're really just guessing, even though Qatar Stars Cup's hitting over 2.5 and upwards of 80% of their matches. You don't know who's playing, so it becomes scary. You have the La Feminine Mexica Liga MX tonight. They're not really scoring as much as you'd really like to see or have seen, so just be careful there. I would stay away from it for a little bit. The EPL match, you're kind of right in between the numbers. Leeds, they are a conceding team, but they like to score. I could see it 1-1. I could see it limp over too late. I could see it 0-0, 1-0. Leeds, most of their goals have come second half, especially away from home. They tend to sit in a little deeper and look to counter on the away end, whereas Everton, that's pretty much their entire philosophy under David Moyes. So I expect it to be a real barn burner. There could be goals just because teams kind of stink, but it's not really something you can plan for. Same thing with Girona and Getafe. Getafe are a really low scoring team, but I could see it getting to 2 goals, whether that be a 2-0 victory from Girona or a 1-1 tie. I think it hits 2 goals, but I don't know how it goes. I stay away from Serie Slaw all day, every day. Norwich, Coventry, it could sit there right in between the number. Coventry are a both teams a score team, more so away from home, and a over 2.5 team more so at home. Norwich kind of stink. It's right there in between the numbers. A little bit too juiced for my liking. So today's a very difficult day in the sport. Tomorrow we have some Bundesliga, and then Wednesday we have some UCL. I've not looked through UCL, full disclosure. And that's as far as I am for this week.
So
Oh,
sorry, I have a comment and a question. So first of all, I think it's pretty incredible that Ronaldo is leading the league in scoring. At his age now, I don't know if that speaks more to Ronaldo's excellence or to the Saudi league's lack of defense. But in any case, for him to be the leading scorer in the league, pretty impressive. Just makes you wonder what he could have done in the MLS. It's something that I'll always wonder. Him and Messi in the MLS, I just think that would have been such an amazing thing to witness. And I think it would have absolutely pulverized MLS defenders. But a question for you, though, and I know we've talked about this before previously. So I don't know if you've seen the video. This is kind of a curveball thrown at you here. I don't know if you've seen the video from the Turkish league. There's a video out there from one of the Turkish matches recently. I think it was over the weekend, where there's a guy taking a free kick. He asks the referee to move. The referee gives him a yellow card. He says something. The referee gives him a red card. It's shady stuff like that has been happening in the Turkish Super League. Curious, what are your thoughts on just the Turkish Super League in general? Is that a league that people should be attacking in terms of betting, or what do you think about that?
Well, to be quite honest, I've voiced my opinion on the Turkish Super League for quite a while now. It's the only league that I absolutely will not bet on. I don't even look at it anymore. Cups, Turkish Super League at all. When you have a high profile manager like Jose Mourinho sticking his neck out there in a league like that and questioning the integrity of the league, and then you see all the clips around the decisions that are made and how much they heavily weight certain teams at certain times. And not only that, Turkey has just come under a massive betting scandal for specifically their referees. Not all of them. I think it's like 70% have active betting accounts and over 50% are actively betting on the matches that they are reffing. So put that into context with what it is that you're doing. You don't know that when you're going into a match that you're really getting a fair deal, and gambling is already hard enough. Why would you want to attack something when you don't believe that there's actually fairness or integrity within it? So the Turkish Super League, I'm sorry, but not for me.
Awesome.
Wow,
Okay.
that's really scary. That's really scary. Sorry.
It's actually pretty insane. When you go look at the decisions that were made last season, I posted about this, but Adana Demirspor got relegated. They're in the Turkey first division, and they're basically going to probably get relegated again. They're just absolutely brutal. They've lost everything ever since last season and really the season before that. But they got put up against a top giant. I think it was Galatasaray. It's usually Galatasaray or Fenerbahce. It's more lean toward Galatasaray. Lately, they have that Barcelona connection like they had that Manchester United connection, where you'd always kind of see a little late decision favor one team. And then you go back and you look at the decisions, and they're absolutely shocking. A clear fixing. So the refs will make these decisions that, they'll bet on it. So they'll do whatever they want, and they'll look at the card and just say, like, hey, what can I make money on? Here's an obscure bet. And then they also will tell people. So that's something to be very, very concerned with. There's a lot of players that these type of things are happening to. Recently, there was one. Who was it? Rodri. They're questioning Rodri. I don't know if you guys know this, but in the Champions League, he got 2 yellow cards really late, got a red card, sent off, and there was a remote part of where only like Rodri's from, like his village, that put a exorbitant amount of money and a whole bunch of bets on him to get a card or 2 cards or something late in the game in the specific time that it happened. So he's now under investigation. So specifically, Turkey, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I wanted to kind of steal the spotlight for a second because I have a live play that I wanted to actually ask both of you about. But continue your thought right now, real quick to finish this Turkey scandal up.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only thing to add to that is I think just Turkish football, like Turkish Football Association in general, they seem to just lack the capabilities of making critical decisions, making common sense decisions. I mean, there's another video going out there that's viral over the weekend from the third division in Turkish football, where there's 3 foot of snow, and the referees are out there to seeing if the pitch is playable, and they throw the ball in the snow and it doesn't move because it's buried in 3 feet of snow. I've never seen anything like it. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to sit here and dog on Turkish football. I mean, I love watching the Turkish national team. I think the environments are crazy. Some of these home matches in the Turkish Super League. Full disclosure, I think Galatasaray have probably one of the top 5 home environments in all of the world. So the fans are excellent. The support is excellent for the league. But there just seems to be so much corruption and lack of just common sense, I would say, within just the decision makers within Turkish football. So yeah, glad to have your input on that, Brad. Anything else that you had for us in terms of soccer or sports or anything?
Yeah, real quick. I want to ask both of you. Right now in the Bahrain Premier League, you have Al Ali, who is severe underdogs, went up 1-0 in the first half against Al Khalidia. And I want to sprinkle on Al Khalidia to either win at plus 215 or the Asian total over 2.5 goals at minus 105. And if anyone listening wants to kind of just weight it down, I definitely think that Al Khalidia scores and the both teams to score right now is unplayable at minus 330, but maybe that will be playable in about 10 minutes. Brad, or Prince of Picks, you got any thoughts on this matchup? It's going on right now. Just went into the second half.
Nothing for me there, but Hazem just equalized off of an own goal in the 80th minute to tie Damak. So just in case you were listening earlier, you probably had a nice little free play that I was too scared to take.
They just went up 2-1.
They just score again.
Yep. 87th minute. Quite
God.
insane.
They really did. Remember I told you about Saudi? First one, 80th minute own goal by some guy named Kevin.
I gotta love it. Gotta love it. And we're gonna stay away from politics, but back to the Turkey conversation in Saudi Arabia. It's just you want to be careful of what countries you are betting in, as some of these countries are less transparent in how they govern and what they care about,
Well,
so
it's
to
not,
speak.
you can't even really say that kind of in some ways because, like, when you look at the American leagues, right? So the NBA and the NFL, well, those are entertainment industries and loaded within all of the literature and the terms and conditions, you find out that they have the ability to manipulate outcomes. And so a lot of these other leagues around the world have the ability to manipulate outcomes because it's within their jurisdiction and they're just allowed to. So they will. And you see it because you'll see consistency within the decisions, like a second half penalty kick for the top team in the league for the most high profile player who demands attention. And yeah, I mean, it's just like decisions. You just watch and you just understand that. I mean, with Saudi though, like I understand that there might be some integrity issues, but I have not seen as many decisions where I've really been left like, okay, this is just blatant cheating, like I have seen with Turkey and the reports with the referees, right? So when the referee reports come out, I mean that's just literally telling you like, this isn't my report. This is these are high profile reports like CBS Sports. They came out with a report of it, so it's in the mainstream news. Turkey is, and so that's why I specifically eliminate Turkey. And congratulations for all those who just banged on Saudi.
Yeah, yeah, and to be fair, I said maybe something that's less than true in American sports. You're right. The Chiefs had a lot of opportunities over the years, based on questionable referee calls. And honestly, like if we're talking about other American sports, Angel Hernandez, who is an ump for Major League Baseball, was just. I mean, I guess nothing's been proven, but my gosh, there were some questionable calls over the years.
Well, in the NBA, you had the was it David Foster? Like you had the referees who openly admitted to theirs, but that's in the past, and now it's under the players. The players are right now. They have not only the capability, but they have the people weighing on them and pressuring them in order to do stuff. It's a really tough industry, and if they get behind in anything, right? If they get under anything and into anything on the outside world, they're going to have people who are pushing this on them, and it's just so easy. And I feel bad for professional sports players right now.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else before we bring on our residential college basketball expert, Drew DeLucci? Brad, anything else? Sorry.
No, not unless you have a question for me.
No, thank you so much, Brad, for coming in, providing us so much valuable information. What I was saying before is really true. I really do use the information that you give us, and again, over multiple years, to really format my opinions and see how to attack games, and it's really invaluable information. So, thank you so much for coming on our show and being able to be a big part of it. And obviously, you are more than welcome back anytime. If you ever want a permanent spot, you have it.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Just let me know anytime you want me to come on. I can talk about whatever you want.
Thanks,
Thank
Brad.
you.
Appreciate you.
And now we're going to transition to college basketball with our main man, Drew. We
How's
are
it going?
transitioning. Hey, man, I was just saying that we're transitioning from the main part of the season from college basketball to the tournament phase coming up in March. So yeah, bring us in. What do you got for
Yeah.
us today?
So, on Friday, Buffalo came back and covered. They could have won that game, but they kind of blew it with free throws. But hey, man, this is the most plus one. And hey, this is what I say, guys. If you see plus 1.5, always take it. You know what I mean? Like you may be like, oh, there's no way they'll only lose by one. Well, they can. And then Utah State, they made an amazing comeback too, but then they were up by 6 with 1:30 left, and they had ball, and they blew the 4.5 cover. They won by 4. So that kind of stuff happens. At the end of the day, guys, remember this is college basketball where people can go ice cold like I did Wisconsin yesterday, -7.5 up by 12 with 12 minutes left. But the problem was uh, they went 9 of 37 from three, and they ended up blowing the lead. So things like that happen. That's where you can look at, live cash outs or something like that. But I do have 5 games, 2 main plays, 3 mid majors. So we'll start with the 2 games I think you guys are more aware of: Ohio State, Penn State, and Duke and Louisville. So Ohio State and Penn State, right? It moved down to minus 11.5. Give me Ohio State minus 11.5. I do not think Penn State is good. I think they've given up on the season. People keep pointing to, well, they only lost by 4 to Michigan State. They only lost by 8 to Illinois, 2 to Michigan, 8 to Purdue. But you know what the problem was? They've lost to 40 to Indiana. They lost by 34 to Pittsburgh. They lost by 20 plus to Maryland and Wisconsin, and 11 plus to UCLA. It's weird because all the teams that lost by double digits are unranked. Think about that for a second. And they just have, I think, given up on the season. In the last 2 games, they lost combined 40 plus points. And just to go off, another thing is because a lot of people are like to fade Ohio State here because they think, oh, Penn State's going to, bounce back because they've had competitive games. But the problem I have with Penn State is if you look at their conference stats, they're last in defensive efficiency. They're last in defense. The last in 3-point percentage guarded, 2-point percentage guarded, block percentage on defense. They're last in average 2-point distance and effective field goal percentage. So I'm going to keep fading this Penn State team, especially off the last 2 games, and on the road they have not been good.
Yeah, that's a sharp look over there. Penn State has been very shaky, and honestly, Ohio State has not been. They are clearly the favorite. The sharp money is with you, and the public is not. So that usually means that you're on the right side of this play.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know, and Ohio State, they could have beat Michigan, and that they covered the spread. They covered 4 of the last 5 games, and at home they have been pretty good at home. My stepdad's a big Michigan fan. I don't necessarily like Ohio State, but I've watched him play. I love their point guard Thornton, and until Penn State can prove to me that they haven't given up on the season, they can produce any kind of offense or defense in conference play. Like I'm going to have to fade him. I know 11.5 is a lot, guys, and backdoor covers are scary, but I can see Ohio State at home, especially since who they have next in Wisconsin. They're going to want to do this. And another thing is, usually the home team, when we see this kind of weather, right, they usually are the ones that are going to probably win. So,
Yeah, and they've only covered this number, I think, twice in the last 5 games in a 5-game losing streak. So there is that. They haven't been
yeah, I
doing
think it's
very well.
crazy, though, is they've lost by double digits to all unranked teams. But when it comes to ranked teams, it's single digits. Isn't that weird? I don't know.
Yeah, it's called
It's just,
playing up to your competition or playing down to
yeah,
your competition.
yeah.
But when you can't get the wins or you can't even make it close, it's not a place you want to be. Bring us into your
Yeah.
second best bet
Oh,
of the day.
yeah, definitely. Duke versus Louisville. I know. So I got him with the DK boost at minus 6.5. Honestly, I'd take him up to minus 9.5 to minus 8.5 right now. If you have the DK boost, you can do minus 7.5 for like plus money. But honestly, I would take the juice at minus 7.5, minus 131. We saw them play the last time, and Louisville had a big lead at their home, and they do it. I'm winning by 11. The key thing to that game is Louisville in the second half did not know what to do against Duke's set defenses, and Louisville relies on chaos for like fast breaks and stuff. For that, they do terrible against set defenses. And one of the key things is they're one of the worst in the ACC at fouling, and Duke's one of the best at getting to the line, and that's always the biggest discrepancy to me. And Louisville relies on the three a lot. And you would think, oh yeah, since Duke's not good at defending the three, neither is Louisville. Louisville has advantage. No, Louisville shoots a lot of threes, but they only shoot 34% in conference play, while Duke shoots 32%. So I just don't see, especially with how Duke has looked the last 2 games, they're figuring. I know it's kind of sounds scary that Duke's figuring things out, but they went on the road back-to-back games against Cal and Stanford and won by 20 plus points, which aren't easy places to win because we saw Louisville earlier go to Stanford and lose. We saw UNC lose to Cal and Stanford. So
Sorry,
Just give
they
me.
didn't just win; they also won by a margin of almost 25 points. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, exactly. They destroyed Stanford and they beat Cal, I think, by like 15. Yeah, and they beat Stanford by 30, which Stanford's not an easy place to play at. So, and think about it, they traveled cross country and they won back to back Cali games, which is always hard to do for college kids in travel. So, and they just covered against Wake Forest. They beat Wake Forest by 21, and the spread was like 18 and a half. So,
Yeah, it looks like a
ah,
good look, honestly, and I'm gonna definitely be looking to play a sprinkle a little bit ahead of time on your play, the -8, -8.5. And I'm definitely going to be trying to take it on the money line or a -2 or 3 live. But yeah, this is a great look, man.
yeah, and like I know Mikel Brown is back for Louisville, and he's their best player, and people hyping that up. But he came back against Virginia Tech. Yeah, they won by 14, but I with Mikel Brown, they're a much better offense, but they're a worse defense because he's not good at defense. So I just don't see how they came Boozer. And like I said, though, I know revenge games are a thing, but when you seen a Duke saw them already, right? And the fact that in the second half they figured out a defense to stop them, that means they'll carry on to this game. So
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Bring us in. You got
oh yeah.
at least a
Yeah,
few
so
more
I
for
got three
us.
more. These ones will be quicker. These so for usually for mid major games, I'll put like less money because mid majors are less likely to come back, like lower mid majors because they don't necessarily always have the offense to do so. So that's why I usually like to put less on it. My one, and these are bottom tier of the Ken Palm rating ones, but Delaware State at SC State. This has been a bad season for both. But the biggest discrepancy right now, it's -1.5 is -118, and money line is -125 for SC State. I'm definitely going to take them. Both teams aren't necessarily good at anything, but the biggest difference in conference play, SC State has a +10 offensive efficiency over Delaware State, and both defenses aren't great. One's one Delaware State is 113, SCH 120, but at one point defense is bad. Bad defense is bad defense. So I would gladly take SC State, who has more offense. They have the rebounding edge. SC State fouls a lot, but Delaware State never gets to the line. SC State gets to the line at a decent rate. So I'll gladly take SC State for -125.
Yeah, that's a good look. Honestly, like everybody's on you. Everybody's on this play.
Yeah,
79% is on SC
and they're
State on
home.
the money line, and 75% is on the spread. This is just gonna be everyone's thinking one direction here, and I'm inclined to think you're correct.
Yeah, it's just whenever I see teams are even and I see one team has a 92 offensive like rating versus 102, and both defenses aren't that good either way, because like there's no difference between 113 defensive and 120. You probably know that from NBA, you know what I mean? Defense is bad, you know? So it would make a difference if it was like 100 to 93. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's my
it's the rebounding and defense that really get it done in college basketball in tight games.
yeah. Oh, something I will say about these mid-major games, like both like mid-major, like lower mid-major teams like this, they foul a lot on both sides. So you'll see like a 70 FTA FGA for them, and that's normal. It's like weird. It's fun. So and then the next one I have is it's UT Rio Grande Valley versus Texas A&M Corpus Christi. This is one where I messed up. I got it yesterday at -3.5. Now it's -1.5 Corpus Christi. So I personally think they blow out UT Rio Grande. I think they're the better team, and also this game is home for Texas A&M. There's going to be some, of course, pretty bad weather that's going on, but overall, Texas A&M, Christie, they have a really good defense in conference. I think they have like a 92 rating conference. Like I like looking at conference stats for these lower teams because you look at the overall stats, it's going to look terrible. So that's just how it is. They have a much better defense. I just don't trust UT Rio Grande Valley's offense. They played before at UT Rio Grande Valley, and they won by 4 at their home, and now they're coming to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So I like -1.5 for that.
Fantastic. I'll be looking to tail that as well. And bring us into your last
Yeah.
best bet for the day.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, it's taking a while, but my
No,
last
no,
one,
sorry,
oh,
man.
this,
We're having technical
oh,
difficulties on my
oh, you
end as
do.
well.
Uh, oh, this is my last one. It moved down to -4.5. I got a -5.5, but 4.5, 5.5 is still like two buckets. I like Florida A&M -4.5 versus Jackson State. I think my model says that this line should be like -9.5, -10 for Florida A&M. Let me pull this up real quick. 1 second. Oh, there we go. I think I got it coming up. Let me see if I can find it. Had the picture here.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup, one way
Yeah.
or the other. It
Oh, there
should
we
be
go.
back and forth for the
Yeah, I was pulling up
live.
my notes. Yeah, so this is this is why I like Florida and I'm like I of course have to write this stuff down, right? So they're first in conference in effective field goal percentage, while Jackson State has like a 112.1 defense efficiency. And the biggest discrepancy, right, is Florida A&M is number 2 in offensive rebounds in conference and number 1 in preventing them. And Jackson State is terrible at getting them and preventing them. Like that's just a big deal. Because I've seen Florida A&M play, and they can just offensive rebound the hell out of the ball. And the scariest thing about that is Florida is number 1 in conference in 3-point percentage. I mean 2-point percentage. So that's the biggest key. That was the key that I saw too. So think about it. If you get offensive rebounds, what's the number 1 stats important? 2 percentage, because you'll usually try to put it back. And Florida A&M is number 1 in conference. I think their 2-point percentage is like 59% in conference. And I just don't. It's and the thing about Jackson State is they can't shoot the ball for a lick. So I feel like this line should be much bigger, especially with the discrepancies in this. So I think it'll be a good game, but I think Florida A&M wins by double digits.
Nice. All right, that's a great look as well.
Yeah, it's the number 1 key. The 2 top most important things I look at, by the way, for college basketball guys: rebounding advantage, turnover percentage, and get to the free throw line. Right. Of course, I'll look at like the 2-point percentage, 3-point percentage, and stuff, and then I'll see how they play against other teams. But if you see a big rebound advantage in college basketball, that is very key.
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you so much. Is there any last thoughts that you want to give us
Yeah.
before we move on from college basketball? Is there any other live plays that we should be looking, or
Yeah.
plays that we should be looking for live, or any big marquee matchups that we should be aware of?
Yeah, so there's a big marquee matchup today that I'm probably not going to touch. I'm going to enjoy. I didn't see much value in it. Arizona at BYU. It moved down to Arizona -1.5. My model says it should be like -2 to 3 Arizona. But the thing is, I don't want to touch Big 12 games because they're very scary to touch. Because Big 12 has one of the best home court advantages, so just enjoy that game. But my other suggestion for the live play I'd watch if you're going to watch this game, because this game starts at 4, is Delaware State at SC State, right? See how well SC State's offense is doing, and if Delaware State gets up by like 4 points early, I'd recommend to bet SC State, because I don't think Delaware State's offense is just really really bad. But the last thing I have to say is they have one line up for tomorrow. Nebraska is +10.5 versus Michigan. I personally like the 10.5. I think Nebraska's getting disrespected. They're like 20-0, and the fact that they're 10.5 against Michigan is very disrespectful.
What a good look. All right. Thank you so much, man. Let's just recap us with your best bets really quick, with the juice if you can, and then send that over to me so I can get it out on the recap screen.
Yeah, for sure. I like Duke -7.5. -7.5, I believe, is 131. The line keeps moving, so if you want to wait, you can. And then I like Ohio State -11.5 at -112. I like SC State money line at -125. And then I like Florida A&M -4.5 at -110. And then the last one is Texas A&M Corpus Christi. -1.5 is -115, and the money line is -130 if you want to take that.
Amazing. I personally have on the ice in NHL, I have the Boston Bruins over the New York Rangers, -115 over at MGM. And then in basketball, I have the Charlotte Hornets taking on the 76ers -1.5 at the juice -125, also at BetMGM. And if you are following live the premier match of Bahrain, you can get double chance right now on Al Khalidia at -115, which I think is also a solid look just for a little sprinkle. Prince of Picks, what do you got for us today? Again, just recap.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start off with the games taking place on the hardcourt tonight in the association. We got the Lakers Bulls. We're taking the over 235.5 at that one -110. We're gonna go to the Warriors at Wolves. I'm on the under for that one, 232.5. That one again is at -110. Then we'll head over to the pitch where we have a matchup in the England Championship Division. We're gonna take Norwich here on a draw no bet with push insurance. That one's gonna be at +130. And then we have one match on the pitch for tomorrow. This one's going to be in the England National League North. Again, this is taking place on Tuesday, where we're looking at a matchup between South Shields and AFC Fylde. I'm on the over 3 goals here on an Asian total. That one's going to be at +100. And then if you guys are interested in any more additional plays, you guys can follow me over on the VIP channel. You can find that over on my X profile at PrinceOfPicks10. There's a pinned post on the profile with details on how to sign up for the VIP channel, where we give soccer plays, basketball plays every single day of the week. So something you won't want to miss if you're interested in more plays. You got anything else for us, Stern, before I close this out? Any of the looks we need to?
I'll say this: how about my Warriors yesterday?
Yeah, man, this Warriors are an interesting team without Jimmy Butler. I thought they would struggle a lot more than what they have. So big win for them. I know they got the same thing again tonight, which we're on the under over here on it. But yeah, man. I mean, Steph Curry.
We're gonna lose tonight.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a team twice in a row and on back to backs especially in the same venue. Yeah, Warriors are over exceeding for sure my expectations. So they're playing good. Well, you got any thoughts on them? I know you're a Warriors expert. Do you have any additional thoughts or perceptions or anything?
Yeah, of course. Sorry to interrupt, of
No,
course,
no.
but I would say my biggest thought is with us. Like, I think we have a lot of good young players because I watch them. I'm a big fan of Pachemski. Moses Moody has been shooting 3 great this year. I like Will Richard a lot. I love DeAnthony Melton, but like when I saw Curry, score 38 the other day, and then we still lose against the Mavericks, it was just heartbreaking. But something I will say that Reggie Miller said that I like is he said that try to do anything you can do to get Giannis, so and make Curry's window open because like I'm sick of my team, trying to ruin Curry's prime. We don't deserve him right now, but hey, if we can get these role players to do well, we we should. But we have a lot of assets. Like a lot of teams like Kuminga, but Kuminga doesn't like being there. So, and he has a like a $20 million contract which you can use for trades. So I think we should try to get Giannis and do everything we can, draft picks or anything, instead of just if we're trying to rebuild, we need to get rid of Curry. So
That's a hot take, man. But something about Giannis. He is out for the next few weeks. I think it was an ankle strain or calf something. But yeah, that's very interesting. And a team that the Milwaukee Bucks that I'm going to be looking to fade without their star talent. Excellent looks. Any other thoughts for us before we go again, Drew?
no thoughts. No, trust me, I love Curry, and I know the Bay Area would riot if we got rid of him. But no other thoughts. I'll just say, of course, stay safe if you're in the weather there. And we have 2 really good college basketball games, and I know tomorrow is going to be a lot because some got canceled. So just overall, let's enjoy sports.
Yeah. Oh, something that I did want to mention in the Arizona game. If the Arizona goes down early, I will be looking to take their points anywhere over +4.5. That's where I'm looking to take them.
Yeah.
But
So something I will say about that game personally, the play I like, and you can do it live with it. I think 165.5 is too much for this kind of game because I know both offenses are pretty good, but both defenses are underrated. I think 165.5 is pretty high for this kind of game.
nice. Yeah, I tend to agree with you. It's kind of the same type of feeling from Prince of Picks, not betting over -15.5 spreads in the basketball. It's just, or at least in professional basketball and the NBA, because it's just high total. It's hard to get there.
The NBA players, they have the shooting to come back on like college. College, sometimes the kids can't shoot as well as pros, so it's hard.
Yeah. So all right. So just to recap us, Prince of Picks, you're gonna bring us out, but make sure you check out our episode from Sunday. It was a special Champions League preview. We have bets in every single match going on. This is gonna be an incredible Wednesday. But Prince of Picks, close us out, man.
Yep. One final thing here before I close us out. Just a little bit of a note here. These next couple days, in terms of betting soccer, if you're betting soccer today and tomorrow, it's more so about bankroll preservation because we do have a ton of matches taking place on Wednesday and Thursday. So, I would say bet lightly over the next couple of days, where we have our full Champions League slate. Again, we did cover that on the podcast, that Stern just alluded to. That podcast is available now on Apple and Spotify podcasts. And then we'll also be covering the Europa League, which is taking place on Thursday. Again, you have a massive slate of games. Final match day for the group stage in the Europa League on Thursday. So a lot of matches taking place here over the next couple of days, Wednesday and Thursday, to be specific. So just take it easy today and tomorrow. Just make sure you're betting selectively here, and don't bet too much. It's more so about bankroll preservation over the next couple of days. But with that being said, we appreciate you guys tuning in as always. This has been Only Bets Sports Podcast. I'm alongside my whole co-host SternBets. I am Prince of Picks. We appreciate Drew DeLucci for his college basketball analysis. Brad Betts came in with his excellent, renowned soccer capper with great information. He contributed to the show. We appreciate him as well. And before you guys go, do us one favor, please. Take 60 seconds every time. Rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast here over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Again, it only takes about 60 seconds. Give us a 5-star review. Give us a short rating. Just say something as along the lines of a great show, awesome picks, cool dudes. Something along those lines. Doesn't have to be anything long, but anything helps with the algorithm here, getting our show more visible to more people. With that being said, alongside SternBets, I am Prince of Picks. We appreciate you guys as always, and we will see you next time. Deuces.